everyone. The opening ceremony will begin in just a few minutes. Please take your seats for the opening ceremony of ETHGlobal San Francisco 2024.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Kartik, one of the co-founders of ETHGlobal, and I'm super excited to welcome all of you to ETHGlobal San Francisco. Woo! Now, this is not a conference. If this is your first time at one of our events, you know that we're known for doing two things. And today, and this entire weekend, is about onboarding thousands of developers into the Web3 ecosystem, which makes this weekend a hackathon. Now, what sets this apart from every other event is that our focus is on a few key things. We want to focus on exclusively builders. Everybody in this room is a developer. These events and these weekends are all about learning, getting help, getting mentorship, mentoring others, and growing as developers in the Web3 space. And the most important thing here is that we believe showing is way more important than telling, which means anything that you do this weekend, we want to see it work and not just have you talk about it. We started 7 years ago by running an event called ETH Waterloo, and from there, it grew into a massive phenomenon. We've been into 6 different continents over the last 7 years, and we continue to get more and more developers and the smartest people in the world involved all across the world, whether it's Mexico, Tokyo, Lisbon, Waterloo, Paris, New York, India, London, Sydney, Brussels, Singapore just a few weeks ago. And I am super excited to say that for our 5th event of this year, we are back in San Francisco for the 3rd time. Yes. There are over 1,075 attendees here. 730 of them are hackers from 45 different countries, and 41% of them are new to Web3. This is absolutely incredible, and the best part about all of this is that when we say somebody's new to Web3, these are existing developers from Web2 trying to understand what is going on in Web3. So seeing 40% of you trying to build something in this space for the first time is just super exciting. This is where everybody came from. We have representation from actually 6 different continents, so people are here from all over the world. And of course, a lot of you are here from the Bay Area, which is even better because it's been a while since there's been a crypto event in this city. Not only that, we have over 227 ecosystem mentors. These are founders, designers, engineers, product managers from so many different protocols in this space, and 22 dedicated mentors who are here to help you answer and get unblocked with any of your projects. There's a dedicated mentor station there. You can literally walk up to anybody at any time this weekend, whether it's 4 p.m. or 4 a.m., and somebody will be there to help you with any code. And although all this has already happened, there are 31 workshops that took place today. You can find all of them on the live stream and catch up and watch them on demand. And because this is not a conference, there are exactly 0 talks this weekend, so we can focus on building. There's over $400,000 in prizes to be won as well, and this is thanks to our incredible 38 partners who are here helping all of you build projects and not start from scratch. So I want to have all of you conserve your energy and start with giving all of them a massive round of applause. So let's thank AirDAO, Avail, Flow, Gnosis Chain, Layer Zero, Polygon, Sign, Scale, Story, Uniswap, Foundation, Chronicle, Circle, Coinbase Developer Platform, Delve, Dynamic ENS, Essential, Hedera, Ledger, Lit, Near, Neon EVM, Nethermind, Rootstock, DeGraph, Unlimited, Walrus, XMTP, Alchemy, Blockless, Phoenix, Morph, Nounstyle, Follow Network, Zircate, Powerloom, Privy, and Stacker. So many incredible protocols from NFTs to ZK to L2s to DevTools. You're going to have a lot of good time learning about all the things and just getting a head start and not starting from scratch. So before we get into all of you being ready to hack, I want to cover a few key things that all of you need to know for this weekend. I want to cover specifically how this venue is set up, all the things that you can do to get help, how submission and projects and judging is going to work, how you can catch up on all the workshops if you missed something, and if you're still looking for a team, there's still hope, don't worry, we'll just cover all of that in a second. The key thing I want to point out is that this is a massive venue, which means everything is very sparse. If you are having a problem with connectivity on Wi-Fi, there's 2 potential things that could be wrong with it. One, you are in a super weird corner where there's no access point in front of you, which makes it harder for you to get the right reception. Or you moved from where you were before, and your laptop is still trying to connect to the hotspot that was in your location before, which means it will try its best to latch onto that same device, and the farther you are, the slower your internet will be. So if you have any internet issues, either make sure you can see up on the roof that there's a access point. Chances are there will be one in every other corner where hacking spots are, or just turn your Wi-Fi off and on again, and it'll reset and connect to the closest router, and you'll be back to the normal speed. Do not use a hotspot, because when you do that, you create a lot more interference, and that makes the internet worse across everybody on your table and nearby, because now you have competing Wi-Fi signals. One thing that we're actually trying for today specifically is we have an on-chain LTE network from ETHGlobal. We have no idea how this is going to work, because we're going to try this live for the first time. But you actually can go to this URL, and you'll be given an eSIM, and it'll actually add a 4G network on your phone. You have to scan this on a laptop so you can install it on your phone. And this will let you bypass your normal data plan and use our gigabit internet on your phone anywhere in this building. And it's going to be awesome. And the part that's on-chain is that these SIM cards exist as on-chain records. So we actually have provenance and tamper-proof abilities to see what's going on. So thanks to our friends at Ubitel, we're going to experiment with this today. And we get to see how we can use this global Wi-Fi on-chain in an event that's all about being on-chain. Now let's talk about security. This event is open 24/7 until Sunday, which means we have to make sure that anybody who's in this building is the person who should be in the building. So please keep your wristbands and your lanyards on you at all times. We will be checking everything every time you re-enter the building to make sure that you have both of these things on. And if you don't, you will not be allowed in the building, especially at night, because it is explicitly being instructed to the security guards to not do so. So do not take this off, do not forget this, do not forget your things, and then go back and realize that you also forgot your bin. Any of those edge cases will not be handled until the morning. Simple, no wristbands means no entry. So please make sure your wristbands are on you. Also, do not leave your belongings unattended. This is an open venue. This is a public area. Even though this building is private, there's people around. We want to make sure that you are taking care of your stuff, especially if you have things like laptops and phones. Please make sure you are not just leaving them anywhere in this building and walking away or going without keeping an eye on your stuff. And don't make a mess. Yes, we're going to be cleaning things, and we're going to make sure that there's proper sanitation facilities available, but keep things tidy, because it makes the experience better for everybody else. Now, everything I'm going to say here is actually available for you to check on your own on the website, and you can also find this thing everywhere printed in this venue. But this is the floor we're on. On the left side, you have the stage where we are now. The middle stuff is the hacking area, and the end of this hall is where judging is going to be, where workshops were today. And the key thing you have to remember is, starting now, you cannot exit from the doors you came in. You have to go all the way at the end to leave the building. The doors on the left and right are only open during daytime. So when you go back, or when you request a car back to get home, you have to go and call it to arrive at the end of the hall. That is the night entrance, and you can see all of that also on the website, or ask us anywhere if you have any questions. The second thing, which I encourage all of you to look up on the website as well, is the map of where all the partners are. So when you have to go talk to anybody during judging, you get to see where everybody is, and you can find them easily in this building. And of course, we're going to make sure that you are well fed as you work on your projects and shout at your computers. So dinner already happened. There's going to be a midnight snack at midnight. Tomorrow, we're going to do a brunch, dinner, and another midnight snack at midnight. And on Sunday, you'll have breakfast and lunch. And there'll also be a small cocktail dinner after the drinks, after the event ends. And all food is going to be available outside where the food trucks are, which you've already seen. So that's the spot where you go for all meals. The midnight snack for today is going to be bubble tea and mochi donuts. So if you make it until midnight, you're going to enjoy some really nice boba. And tomorrow is hot dogs, because why not? And there's also a photo booth in case you haven't seen. You get to take a photo with you and your team and get a digital version of it, and you get to talk about all the fun you're having at the Hackathon. And tomorrow we're also going to be doing a few amazing workshops. So this one is going to be all about mobility, and you get to join this session 4 times at 10:30 a.m., 12:30, 1:15, and 2 p.m., and you get to do some nice workout and stay fit and healthy. And in case you haven't already picked up your swag bag, that's all the way right next to registration, and you get to have an amazing bag with an event t-shirt, a sticker pack, a cool ETHGlobal magnet, and a bucket hat for the times you're gonna, I don't know what you're gonna use this for, but it's cool. All right, a few more things, and then we'll get into judging. Everything that we're gonna communicate to you officially is going to be on Discord. This is on ethglobal.com/Discord if you have not been set up, but if you are a hacker, this was part of your confirmation process, so you should be all set. Discord is the place where we're going to be announcing everything about this event. That is the source of primary comms. So if something changes, if something has to be updated, if we want to tell you about do this or that, we put that on Discord first, and then we'll make any announcements here. So you get to just keep up with the info announcements channel on Discord. And this is only visible to people who are in this event. So you don't have to worry about others reading it on that massive channel. It's automatically permission to only work and show these things to the people who are part of this event. And this also means you get to talk to everybody who's at this event, from other hackers to our mentors to our partners. So if you have any question about how a different protocol works, you get to just go to their channel, ask that question. There'll be people monitoring that. If you have any questions about general help that you need, you get to ask our mentors, and they'll be monitoring that, or you can also walk up to either of those tables. But Discord makes it easy for everything to be async so that you can communicate and share more context. Everything else is also available and going to be public on the website. So schedule, whether it's the workshops, how judging works, when judging is, where things are, where you can find everything about the next 48 hours, all that is available on the website, and you can just head over to ethglobal.com/San Francisco. And let's remember that you are in person. This is no longer an online event. You get to talk to each other in person. If you have a question about how a certain protocol works, the person who was part of making that protocol happen is likely in the building. You get to ask them those questions. If you're not sure about how something can be done, you can walk up to other hackers who may have done it, or ask them if somebody knows. You get to do all these things and actually meet really, really smart people who are excited about the same things. So talk to each other. Let's talk about being on chain. There are 2 things that we're doing that help us show you what's possible in Web3. The first thing are these wristbands that all of you have for this event. These are special NFC chips that we've been working on integrating with all of our events this year. And the cool thing about this is that these are P256 compatible chips, which means they can sign Ethereum transactions directly, which also means every wristband is an Ethereum wallet. You can send money to people, you can store money on this, you can sign for things. And this is also part of a lot of the event experience, because when you were getting scanned for a workshop or your meals, all those things are attestations being published on chain, and you get to see cool things happening directly on chain. And that's kind of what we want to show on how seamless this could be. So give this a shot. But the best part is you also get to scan this with any other browser and connect with the person you just scanned. So scanning anyone else's wristband takes you to a URL where you get to connect with them, and they get to selectively share their contact information. So if you meet somebody super cool, scan their wristbands, press the connect button, and they can tell you that, hey, anybody who connects with me can automatically get my email or my Discord or my Telegram, and you get to follow up with them, and you also get to track everything super easily and use this to basically meet a lot more people. And everything is on chain. And you can simply also check the whole history by heading over to ethglobal.com/connect. To show you what this looks like, the second you scan somebody, you'll be taken to this page, and this shows your history of everybody you met, and also a really fun little leaderboard. This counts who is the most social person at this event. And you actually can compete to be the most connected person at ETHGlobal San Francisco this weekend. And the thing that we're going to do is the top 3 people on this leaderboard are going to get 0.1 ETH each. So I hope you meet a lot of new people today and tomorrow and Sunday, because 2 p.m. we compute the results and you get to see if you're on top 3. And because we know you're going to try to game this, you cannot just scan people who are sleeping, because you have to confirm on the other side, and if the person you just scanned who was sleeping doesn't confirm you, it doesn't add up. So you have to actually talk to people. It may be hard, but you're going to have to actually talk to people. Now let's talk about the second thing. We have these things called packs, and I want all of you to go to ethglobal.com/packs and mint your hacker pack. It's a free NFT that opens up a lot more things that make your hackathon experience really, really simple and great. It's a collection of things that you get, stuff like access to 13 different faucets. If you have this, it controls the permissions, and you get to use testnet tokens on 13 different chains. All of them are here as partners. If you need testnet tokens for any of them, automatically you get this. We are also giving away a free ENS username and a Lens username and a Farcaster account to everybody who holds a hacker pack. So literally all you have to do is press the mint button. You don't even need any crypto for this. We take care of that. We just give it to you at your address. And you get to onboard into a lot more protocols that are out there and use them without having to worry about the fees. And there's a lot more things like tickets to DEF CON that are on sale for developers. So if you missed that and you're a developer here, you get to still go to DEF CON and get your ticket at a 50% discount, and a lot more things that you get to see on the page. So ethglobal.com/packs, ethglobal.com/faucet will get you ready for hacking this weekend. Hacking officially begins now. That means you have until, why not? Let's go. Hacking begins now. You can start working on your projects. You can work on them with up to 5 members on your team. You can also work on them on your own. And you have until 9 a.m. on Sunday to submit your project. Now, this is going to be important because here are the rules. To qualify for a good submission, you must work on your project from scratch. You cannot add a feature to something you've had before. You cannot just deploy something you did to a new chain. And you cannot just selectively open source something or privatize something or make something private to public and call that a submission. You need to do something from beginning, because we want to make sure everybody is playing this fair and is following best Git practices. So no 2 commits with 100,000 lines as your submission. You will be disqualified from being eligible for receiving prizes. Use version control, use GitHub, which is going to be required. Keep it public as a repository, and follow best practices so we can actually trace that you did the work over the weekend. And only people who have RSVP'd and checked in are eligible to win prizes, which means if you have a team member who is not here yet, or they're listed on your team, but it says they're not confirmed, if you win any prizes, your team member will not get their share of that amount. So make sure your team members are checked in immediately. Their cutoff is going to be 10 a.m. tomorrow. If some of them are delayed by flight, some of them have been informing us. But tomorrow night, everybody who is not checked in gets kicked out immediately, and this will affect your team and your ability to receive the prizes if you win some. Everything else is available for you on demand. All the stuff that we have is ready and designed to be accessible for anybody who's a beginner or intermediate or an expert. So any workshop that has happened is available on ethglobal.tv. You can go and pick the workshop room it was on, watch it, pause it, zoom in, see what's going on, get all the links. And if you still have any questions, all the speakers are still in the building. You get to just go up to that booth and ask them your follow-up questions. But if you want to just see what the code was from that workshop that you attended but you can't remember, you can go up on ETHGlobal.tv and watch the whole thing at your own pace. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to cover everything, so if you have any other questions, you get to find me, anybody else on the ETHGlobal team, the mentor booth, the registration desk. Come up to us in person, send us an email, ping us on Discord. We'll be watching everything, and we'll answer any other questions that we missed. Now, let's quickly talk about how mentorship is set up. We're going to make it very simple for you to figure out how you can get help. Every mentor has this vest. You can find people with a purple jacket and a giant mentor text on their back. And these are our mentors. They're going to be taking shifts, so you have 24/7 coverage. They're also on the website. They're also on your Hacker dashboard under the Mentors tab. And anybody here can help you with things that you want to know about your project, and you can see who knows what. So if you need somebody who knows backend or specifically a different framework like React or specifically Solidity or how to work on security or audits, you have a good coverage and you get to talk to the right person for this weekend. Now the most important piece. Let's talk about judging. Submissions are due at 9 a.m. That is 36 hours and 24 minutes. We're going to give you that extra 24 minutes because you're going to need it to work on a really, really good submission. When you submit your project, you will be given a choice to go to the partner judging route or the finalist judging route. The important thing here is that both of these things happen at the same time, which is from 9:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. Now, what is the difference between these two things? Partner judging is the route where you go and present your prizes to one of our partners because you're applying to win one of their prizes. If you are trying to use 4 different protocols that are giving 4 different prizes, or 1 prize each, this means you will have to go to each of those tables and demo your project. So that's 4 demos that you're going to have to do in that same 2.5-hour window. If you say, I'm going to use 10 different protocols, that means you're going to have to do 10 different demos in that same 2.5-hour period. And the odds are that would not work out well because there might be other people and you'll have to wait in line for some of them. You have to come back, and the window is still the same for everybody. That's on just the partner judging. But you can also opt in to this additional process for being a finalist. And what that means is, in addition to any of the partner prizes, you get to qualify for being the top 10 team for this hackathon. And if you go with the finalist judging route, you're going to have to do 1 more presentation on top of everything on the partner side to a separate set of judges who will determine if you are one of the top 10 teams. So in the same example, if you have 10 different protocols that you're trying to apply for, and you also do finalist judging, you're going to have to do 11 7-minute demos, and all of that needs to happen from 9:30 a.m. to 12, and it's going to be rough. So keep that in mind. Everything that you're going to have to put in to understand and get everybody else to context is going to be part of the submission process. We're going to ask you very specific questions on how you use certain things, how you are using different APIs. Give us a link to the code in your GitHub where you're actually calling this endpoint or this protocol or this smart contract. You're going to have to verify and justify how and directly point us and our partners to where things are being used. So you can't just say, I use something and then hope that nobody notices it, because submission process requires you to link to the actual code. It also requires you to answer how something works, put in proper screenshots, give more context on why you chose a problem, and you can do a lot of things to stand out and make your story more visible. The good news is that everything that you're going to be doing is going to be the same process for everybody, and also the same process for the partner or the finalist judging. Nothing changes in terms of how you submit the projects. The only thing that changes is the number of presentations that you have to do. After you put all those details in, you get to basically be ready, and the partners will automatically be notified of who to expect. So as soon as you say, I want to qualify myself for these 3 prizes, each of those 3 protocols will get a notification, and they know to expect you. So make sure that you don't forget to properly check that you actually clicked on all the partners that you wanted to apply for. Now, the other good piece is that if you have multiple presentations, you can go to them out of order, which means if you have 1, 2, 3 booths to go to, and there's 2 lines on the other one, but the third one is not busy, just go to any of them, because ordering doesn't matter here. And the same thing applies for the finalist judging, which means it's going to be first come, first serve. If you're at the line, the second you get to the beginning of the line, you will be up for presentation. You will have 7 minutes to demo, of which 4 minutes will be talking about what you built. You get to show a live demo to all of our judges, and 3 minutes for Q&A for them to ask you any follow-up questions. We recommend that usually everybody just records a video of their project as well, so 2 to 4 minute video, because if something goes wrong or if something doesn't work live, you get to fall back to the video, but we prefer live demos. The videos are there just to help you make sure that you get to communicate what you built. And as you think about submitting your projects, it's going to take you at least 30 minutes, if not more, to put in all the details that you need. You get to see all the questions that you're going to have to fill out early tomorrow morning on your dashboard when we show you the whole form. And you get to kind of cheat by just looking at all the stuff that you need to gather, so you can see all the questions and just work on them ahead of time. But do not do this last minute, because it will take you at least 30 minutes to fill this out. All of that happens on your dashboard, and the gist of all of this thing is make the submission good, because anything that people see on your submission is what they're going to be able to look at and judge and think about and infer and ask follow-up questions on. So the more clear you are with your screenshots working, you having a backup video showing exactly how something works, having good best practices on coding, the better your odds of impressing everybody and getting your message across. So don't skimp on making the submission being last minute. And of course, this is an in-person event with people from all over the world. The 2 things I want to talk about are part of our code of conduct, which all of you have already looked at and agreed to as you came into this event. But all the event rules are available on ETHGlobal.com/rules. The things that matter here is please be respectful for everybody. Harassment in any form will not be tolerated. If you see somebody being treated the way they shouldn't be, come find anybody on the ETHGlobal team in person or send us an email or notify us on Discord. We'll take immediate action. And the other thing is anything that comes out of this weekend, which is anything that you built, will be solely owned by you, and your entire team owns equal rights to that IP. So no partner, neither ETHGlobal, not just one of the team members has any rights to the work. So anything that you built is for you to do whatever you'd like after this event ends. And of course, anything else, ping us. We'll be happy to help all of you. Now, I want to bring on a few people here to tell you about why they're excited to be at this hackathon and what you can do by using the protocols and how you can accelerate a lot of your development. So I want to bring on a few people here. They're going to tell you about who they are, why they're excited, and what they do. And we're going to start off with bringing Igor from ETHDAO. So without further ado, let's give Igor a massive round of applause.
Hi guys, I'm Igor from ETHDAO. I do happy to welcome all of you here. I do feel great, thankful for ETHGlobal for organizing this great event. So what is ETHDAO about? Apparently ETHDAO is EVM layer 1 compatible ecosystem with mobile first approach. We do have a bunch of tokens in stack. We have a lot of supported wallet. We have a bunch of chains which compare us. We do have great partners. We do have a vision on the roadmap for 2025, so we want to build a bunch of dApps, we want to have a lot of users, we want to be great blockchain. So this is why we invite you guys to build something. We do think that few ideas of ETHDAO is collaborative growth. Everything what you can do, we try to make our priority. We try to capture the majority of our audience attention towards your apps. We're EVM compatible, which means everything works on Ethereum, works on ETHDAO. really low transaction costs, so you can deploy everything in prod. You don't need to care about test nets, faucets, all this stuff. We do have a lot of grant marketing communication support, and we do have really active community. We do have 20,000 total prize pool, 10,000 for best app, 5,000 for attention economy, 5,000 for AI. Come build something with AirDAO. Thank you for joining us. Happy hacking.
Awesome. Next up, I want to bring on Kyle to tell you all about Avail. So please give Kyle a massive round of applause.
What up, everybody? Again, my name's Kyle. I lead the business team at Avail, where we're working on scaling modular chains and solving omni-chain liquidity with all this different user fragmentation across all these different chains and rollups and some more. But there are multiple things people can build on at Avail, but this hack is going to be focusing on Avail's data availability layer. So just to quickly cover how Avail DA helps builders, it makes it massively less expensive to post data to a settlement layer like Ethereum. It has expandable block space to mitigate the congestion issues we see with existing solutions. And it utilizes a very powerful and extremely customizable light client network so people can verify the data themselves. And what this does, it gets rid of the need to run full nodes for end user and client-side verification. But let's get into the bounties that we have for you fine folks. And there are actually four different tracks here. The first is a $4,000 prize pool for building on Avail DA with any existing stack integration. So that's all EVM stacks, that's Cosmos via Rollkit, Dimension, or a DA posting module, that's Stacker, SDK for micro rollups, and quite a bit more. The second prize pool is $3,000 for builders that want to get creative here. So building something that doesn't use an existing stack integration, but that still posts data to Avail DA. So get as creative as you'd like here. You could even build like a liquid staking protocol for Avail, build something custom with Avail Light clients that people are using for proof of work for nodes or proof of geolocation or many other instances. In the end, we're really just looking for some out-of-the-box thinking here. The third prize pool is $2,000. That's up for grabs, and it's all about developer tooling. If that's what you're good at. So cost calculators, explorers, dev toolkits, dashboards, whatever floats your boat, whatever you can create, that's open for that one. And then the last prize pool is $1,000 for testing out and giving critical feedback on the Avail docs. Just make sure you give solid feedback in a .md file and repo, along with some images that we can use to follow. So that's it. Hope you all have a great few days. Come by the booth if you either don't understand DA or you want some help building and seeing how you can post data there. And we look forward to seeing what you all build. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Kyle. Next up, I want to bring on Teeter from Flow Foundation. Please give him a big round of applause.
Hello, hackers! Who is ready to write some code? Yeah, that's what I thought. Who is ready to write some prompts in the hope that ChatGPT will write your code? Yeah, okay. I'm Dieter Shirley. 7 years ago, I worked on a project called CryptoKitties. And if you were listening carefully to Kartik's talk earlier, 7 years ago, he was starting what became ETHGlobal. And in fact, at that very first event in ETH Waterloo, that's when the world first saw CryptoKitties. And that event has changed my life. We built CryptoKitties from there. We went and built Dapper Labs. I was asked, as the CTO of Dapper Labs, to look at the world of blockchains and decide which one we wanted to build on. And I looked all around and I said, you know what? There's not a single one of these that I want to bet a consumer-oriented company that plans to have tens of millions of users. And so we ended up building Flow. In 2020, we launched the Flow blockchain network. On top of that, we launched NBA Top Shot, which is one of the most successful NFT apps I think ever built. And Dapper Labs sat at around $1 billion valuation. Since then, I've left Dapper Labs. I've moved to the Flow Foundation. I'm now leading a Flow Foundation, which is independent of Dapper, and Flow is ready for the world to build on, and completely separate from Dapper, although, of course, they still hold some tokens and run some nodes. This year, Flow had a giant release that we called Crescendo. I'm incredibly proud of Crescendo, but for most of you, I think the most important thing that happened in Crescendo is that we became fully EVM equivalent. Before this, we built our own smart contract programming language called Cadence. If any of you are new at smart contracts, I encourage you to take a look at Cadence. It is an easier to understand language. I think it's a more expressive language. I think it's a language that's easier to write safe code in. And the creation of Cadence came directly from me having trouble building Solidity code because I found it very complex. But we have full EVM compatibility, so if you want to build EVM, please come run on Flow. We're one of the fastest EVM networks in the world because of our unique architecture. Of course, we have a number of prizes, a $10,000 prize for anyone who wants to build on Flow. And additionally, we're giving a bonus 2K to the best 4 projects built on Flow that touch on sports in some way to celebrate our history and the launch of Flow with NBA Top Shot. So everyone here, I hope you have a great time. Please check out Flow. I'll be around. We've got a whole team here that'll be here all night, and we would love for you to build on our network. Thank you.
Amazing. Next up, I want to bring on Philip to tell you all about Gnosis Chain. Please give him a big round of applause.
Hey, so this year again, or for this hackathon, we have 10K in bounties. I think this has actually been the case for every single ETHGlobal hackathon this year. Not sure, but must be close at least. You can choose to build on 3 different projects. So build with Shudder on Gnosis Chain. Basically, we're looking for 2 very specific things. First, a DAppNode package for the encrypting RPC for Shudder. And second, an integration of Shudder in any wallet. So for example, you could use MetaMask snaps and implement Shudder in that wallet. For Shudder, you can also build a more generic dApp that just uses Shudder, its encryption, in any relevant way. We have Nano Shudder that you can use for basic prototyping, and you can run everything locally without requiring to deploy a full set of keepers, validators, and everything else. For circles, you can build anything kind of creative on the social side of things. So for example, betting or prediction markets, social and voting platforms, custom groups or mints policies, or basically anything else. Just be creative and have fun. So for circles specifically, there's 2 chances to win 2K USD worth. Then there's the last one for Hashi, which is a cross-chain framework, basically. So you can build anything about message passing or bridging with oracles. It's basically an aggregation layer of oracles to promote security. And you can do so in 2 different ways, basically, by using arbitrary message passing to push your data from one chain to another. Or you could just use the block headers that are already made available by Hashi to build proofs and secure whatever application, cross-chain application you want to develop. Thanks for listening and happy hacking.
Sweet. A lot of different protocols you can play with on Gnosis. Next up, I want to bring on Matthew to tell you about Layer 0. Please give him a big round of applause.
Cool. Thanks, man. How are we guys doing today? That's pretty weak. Let's try it again. How are we doing? There you go. Thanks so much for coming out and hacking today, guys. I want to talk a little bit really quickly about the number of blockchains we're on, because it's huge. We're on 100+ different blockchain networks today. And as some of you guys might already know, that leads to a lot of interesting problems that you guys get to solve at this hackathon. Mainly, how do we connect all of these users, apps, wallets, gas tokens, the list goes on across all of these networks. Historically, the way that we did it, we usually relied on some form of centralization. In the past, that involved centralized custodians, upgradable contracts with one signer to change all of the code on chain, and ultimately led to millions of dollars in losses for the majority of people and applications built on top of these networks. For us at Layer 0, that gave us our why for why were we built? To provide immutable contract standards that anyone can deploy to send any arbitrary data to new destination blockchain networks. Using Layer 0, anyone, whether that was an application or a user, could call a immutable layer 0 endpoint contract, configure whatever type of verification framework they wanted to use to verify messages and deliver them to the destination chain, and abstract that delivery on destination, whether that was ZK proofs, multi-party compute, native bridges, the list goes on. Since Layer 0's launch, we've done over 135 million messages, connected about 94 different blockchain networks, and account for about 70% of all interoperability message volume. So we're stoked about that. And the job's not done. This year, we've been building with EigenLayer, creating a restaking framework for network security, worked with Arbitrum Orbit for native L3 bridges, and provided a lot of non-EVM support now for Solana, Ton, and Aptos. So for you guys here who are building, I want to remind you guys, don't compromise on the things that make crypto crypto. Keep building immutable frameworks, and join us with our $20,000 prize pool this weekend. Thank you guys so much.
$20,000, that's a lot. All right, next up, I want to bring on two people. Please give a massive round of applause to Colin and Purple.
Well, hello, San Francisco. My name is Colin. My game is teaching people about blockchain. I do events and education. I've been doing it for 6 to 7 years now. My first ever hackathon was ETHSF in 2018, and I'm so freaking excited to be on the stage right now. I am the core contributor to the Dabble Club. The Dabble Club, I'm going to tell you what the heck that is. We are an extension of Polygon Labs. We are not Polygon Labs. We are the community-run community. We're a global team supporting over 100 different cities with local volunteers. If you're one of those ambassadors around the world, come talk to me. We want to work with you. We'll buy you pizza. Let's do some freaking fun events and educate people in your hometown. So that's what we do. What is Polygon? Who here thinks Polygon is proof of stake? You might have been right a couple years ago, but today Polygon is a lot more than just a layer 2. Now, WTF? What is it? So aggregation is the word I want to leave you in your head. Web3 aggregated. There is now Polygon Proof of Stake, Polygon ZK EVM, Polygon Chain Development Kit, or CDK, and Polygon Miden, the privacy chain with compliance. So what is an aggregated blockchain? What does this mean? Well, it's a horizontally scalable multi-chain network of multiple networks that have shared liquidity across different sovereign but connected chains. What is that about? Well, we call it the ag layer to shorten that whole phrase down. And ag layer is just what it sounds like. It's neutral, decentralized, and it verifies chain states using ZK knowledge proofs to keep that consistent chain state, and that way we all settle to Ethereum. So all of this is possible when chains connect to the ag layer. But the problem here is we have to get aggregated. Why do we solve, what problem are we solving? So we're solving the fragmentation problem. Over the years, especially the last 2 years, we've seen an explosion in growth of L2s. There are more L2s out there than I can keep track of. Even L2 beats can't keep track of all the L2s. So we have to get aggregated. We have to bring everyone back together and support Ethereum as an entire ecosystem. And the way to do that is through unifying the liquidity, creating this underlayer. Rather than a layer 3, we are not a layer 3, we are an aggregation layer. And there may be other aggregation layers, but this one is a decentralized and neutral service. So the end game here is we encourage people to build with the chain development kit, build their own blockchain. Doesn't matter if you're a layer 2 or a layer 1, you can still use ZK proofs to merge with the aggregation layer. So now, obviously, you know all these big companies. You've seen this before, Nike and my favorite, Hello Kitty. That's your favorite, right, Purple? Yes. And I think this is really exciting, but we also have to recognize that it takes a village to create all this. So we have several companies who've already committed to being on the ag layer. A lot of companies here who are L2s are looking forward to being part of this aggregation layer. So this is coming. By next year, we're all going to be there. So I also want to say what I do. I am here to help you grow. After the hackathon, I'm here to help you go that next mile, that next step. We want to take you from hackers and turn you into companies. We want to help you start your startup. I will get you ready. Big news, October 20th is not just the deadline for your hackathon projects, it's also the deadline for the poll rush. Anyone can submit their pitch to the poll rush. And if you win the pitch competition, the top 15 teams will get flown to Thailand to go and pitch in person at the Ag Summit. So this is a big pitch event that's going to happen in Thailand. And this weekend is the weekend to refine that pitch and get it submitted. So get your pitches in on top of your ETH, 2 for 1, right? Now, at the Aggregation Summit, who here is coming to the Aggregation Summit? Who here is going to Thailand? Can I get a woo for Thailand? Woo, Thailand. All right, some people are already there. We want you to come join us for the Ag Summit in Thailand. And to make everything more exciting, I'm giving away these cool necklaces. You see this necklace I'm wearing right here, right purple? You love it. This is an AI necklace. It's completely open source. That means you can control your data. You own your own data. And this is amazing. We're giving them away at our booth. Just come register and come hack on Polygon, and you can go home with one of these friends. Scan this QR code. You can see our $20,000 in prizes. We have an AI prize, a ZK prize, a consumer app prize, and also an ag layer prize. So come build on the ag layer, build with this necklace, build on Polygon, and I'll be there to support you. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Colin. All right, next up, I want to bring on Jack to tell you all about Scale. Please give Jack a big round of applause.
Hello. All right. Who's hacking? All right. A few hands. Love it. OK, so let's kick this off. All right. Scale. Well, first I want to say we did our first ETHGlobal hackathon back in 2018. So I just absolutely love these events. It's been a long time. Like, we're coming up on a decade. Anyways, for those of you, if it's your first hackathon, you're going to love it. You're going to have a good time. So what is Scale? We like to say Scale is the gas-free, invisible blockchain designed to help scale Ethereum. So we've been scaling Ethereum for a long time. The network went live back in 2020, okay? So we're pumped about supporting you today. We've got a lot of bounties, 20K in bounties, all right? Lots of winners, too. We want to see lots of winners. We've done so many of these. One thing we found is that when there's more awards out there, it's just more engagement. We're going to be here supporting you the whole time. There's going to be up to 15 teams that win, okay? So one piece is the best use of zero gas fees. The other piece will be Scale native integrations. Come by the booth. We'll tell you all about it, okay? So we like to say Scale is built different. It's not necessarily a layer 2. It's not a layer 1. It's built into Ethereum. But it's a network of blockchains that have a security tie back into Ethereum. But the most, I think, differentiated piece is that it's gas-free. So I'm going to leave you here on a bit of a cliffhanger and say, like, if you want to know how you can have a gas-free blockchain with, Sybil protection, spam protection, payments for validators, sustainable economics, how does it work? Come by the booth. We'll tell you about it. All right. There's over 150 games right now building on Scale. Over 300 projects across the Ethereum ecosystem building on Scale. We've got about 50 million on-chain transactions per month and about 4 million unique active wallets a month on average this year. Dartmouth also selected it as through actual on-chain work, testing throughput and time to finality as the fastest blockchain amongst a lot of other well-known chains. Even though Scale is a blockchain, but it's also a Ethereum scaling chain. So test it out, you see for yourself today, and thank you. Any questions, you can join the Discord, and we'll see you this weekend. Bye.
Thanks, Jack. All right, next up, I want to bring on Jacob to tell you all about Story. Please give Jacob a big round of applause.
Hi, everybody. This is Jacob from Story. I'm a dev rel at Story. I wish I had a dog. That's really messed up, Colin, because now my thing looks lame. But yeah, I'm from Story. We're trying to make the legal system for creative IP more efficient by putting IP on the blockchain, more specifically allowing you to register your IP in one transaction and also attach license terms to that IP at the same time. Whether it's allowing someone to create derivatives of your IP, commercializing your IP, or whatever else, that is what we are trying to do at Story. And so we have launched our own L1 blockchain called the Story Network to better handle the complexity of IP graphs. You can imagine there's thousands of parent-child relationships when you talk about IP. You have an original song that gets remixed 1,000 times. And we had to launch our own L1 blockchain to better handle the complexity of that. And so we're hoping all of you will build on Story during this hackathon. So we have some prizes available for you, in total $20,000 worth of prizes. The first 10,000 is for the best overall use of Story Protocol. That is correctly using licensing, so registering children IP assets of other IP assets and remixing others. The other module is royalty flow, so showing an example of automatic royalty payments that are happening between IP assets, and again, that's supported on our protocol. And the third is disputing, so on-chain disputing. We also have a AI track, so this is for projects who are using AI in their applications, whether you are registering the training data that AI or other LLMs use as IP, so that when you generate content, the original creators who use their IP as training data get paid, or just registering the output of AI as IP. We had one ecosystem app do really well at a previous hackathon that was registering data as IP. Another track is IPFi, so that is something as simple as buying and selling licenses, which are NFTs on our protocol on secondary marketplaces, or something as complicated as liquid restaking on IP assets. The next track is the most creative use case, Get Creative, and the last one is Best Developer Feedback. You will win $500 for that, but we will also be giving prizes to anyone who submits developer feedback with your submission. So thanks everyone, good luck, and have a great time.
Thanks, Jacob. And last, I'd like to bring on Chirag to tell you all about things that are up at Uniswap Foundation. Please give him a big round of applause.
Thank you so much, Karthik. Hey, everyone. My name is Chirag. I head ecosystem at Uniswap Foundation. We have some exciting opportunities for you to hack tonight on top of Uniswap. So but first, let's get started. This is Ethereum order flow. A beautiful network. On your left, you see users, swappers, and on your right is liquidity providers. And in between is solvers and RFQ, the solver network. Over the last few years, something beautiful has happened. Such a simple, novel idea has evolved into something so complicated, beautiful, and pushed the boundaries of what we have known in DeFi. And that's what tonight is about, pushing the boundaries. And you guys are here to push those boundaries, and we are going to give you the opportunities to do that. So let's start with what are those opportunities. First one, Unichain. If you've been following the journey, last week we announced Unichain, an L2 optimistic rollup built part of OP Stack. Why did we launch Unichain? Over the last few years of building DeFi, we have learned three things what users really care about: instant transactions, cheaper execution, and better cross-chain liquidity. And we are here to solve for those. Unichain is going to be 95% cheaper than ETH L1 transactions while furthering pushing decentralization. You're going to have faster and near instant transactions, starting with 1 second block, but going down to 250 milliseconds soon. Under the hood is going to leverage TEE, Trusted Execution Environment, for fair and transparent transaction ordering. And finally, seamless multi-chain swapping. We know all the fragmentation in the ecosystem. What we care about, deeper liquidity. We are partnering with the OP Stack team closely, leveraging Optimism native interoperability stack to make sure you have single block cross-chain swaps seamless as possible. The second opportunity, what you can build on, hooks. What do hooks do, by the way? Hooks introduce smart contract execution on top of the AMM. What does it mean? It means now developers are first-class citizens in Uniswap protocol. You can deeply integrate inside the protocol. What can you build with hooks? Possibilities are endless. You can implement dynamic fees, custom curves, RWA. You can build DeFi primitives, lending, borrowing. You can build MEV mitigation, redistribution techniques. But it's not about just this weekend. We want to make sure we are providing you support to continue this journey. And that's what we are calling for, developer grants. Last week, we announced support for all of you. You can submit an open call requesting funds, go-to-market support, ecosystem support, leveraging our network, our ecosystem strength. You can continue building this hackathon into an infinite hackathon. You can enter monthly hackathon for $7,500 prizes. And you can also nominate all these projects for retro grants. Finally, for this weekend, we are offering $20,000 prizes. There will be 3 tracks. First one will be hooks with $10,000 prize. Second one, building on Unichain, you can build any DeFi primitive for $5,000. And finally, integrations for V4, any infrastructure, SDK, and developer tooling. That's it, folks. Thank you so much. Enjoy hacking this weekend.
Thanks, Chirag. Those were all of our amazing partners. And before we kind of let all of you go back to hacking, as a quick summary of all the prizes, over $400,000 are being given away this weekend. AirDAO, Avail, Flow, Gnosis Chain, Layer 0, Polygon, Sign, Scale, Story, and Uniswap Foundations are giving up to $20,000 in prizes each. Chronicle, Circle, Coinbase Developer Platform, Delve, Dynamic, ENS, Essential, Hedera, Ledger, and Lid are giving up to $10,000 in prizes each. Near, Neon EVM, Nethermind, Rootstock, The Graph, Unlimit, Walrus, and XMTP are giving $10,000 in prizes each as well. Alchemy, Blockless, Phoenix, Morph, NounceDAO, Follow Network, Circuit are giving up to $5,000 in prizes each. And Privy and Stacker are giving away up to $1,000. And all the specifics of what the prizes are, how you can qualify, what doesn't count, documentation, example code repos that you can just clone and start off, all those are available on the prizes page on the event website. So check that out. And if you are still looking for a team, there's a workshop happening in 15 minutes in workshop room 4. That is the last room at the end of the hall. You get to meet with all the other people who are looking for a team and get to match up with somebody who is excited to build something with you. And last but not least, you want to make sure that you are pacing yourself here. You are thinking about learning, and that's kind of the goal. Don't make this exhausting for you. Don't try to stay up for the entire time. We want you to have fun. And more importantly, we want this to be about experimentation. So try to pick up something new that you did not know before and benchmark yourself against yourself from Friday to see how much you learned by Sunday. So happy hacking, everybody. We'll see you all on Sunday.